Microsoft 365 has created an access governance crisis that most IT teams don't know how to solve. Here's why. A single user can create a team, invite external partners, and share sensitive documents in under 5 minutes. There are no approvals required, no waiting. That's the whole value of the platform. It enables collaboration at speed. But your governance process was designed for a different world. Quarterly access reviews, annual audits, manual permission approvals. Those processes made sense when access provisioning took 3 days or 3 weeks and users worked at that same pace. But that world doesn't exist anymore. So now you're trying to govern thousands of daily permission decisions with a process that runs 4 times a year. The math doesn't work, and the result is predictable. The average organization now has over 50% of its sensitive data accessible to all employees. And that's not because IT teams are incompetent. It's because the governance process physically cannot keep pace with the speed at which users create and share content in Microsoft 365. This creates 3 specific business risks that most organizations discover the hard way. First, compliance violations. When you can't prove who accessed what information and when they accessed it, you can't demonstrate GDPR compliance. You can't show HIPAA controls. You can't produce SOX audit trails. A single compliance failure can cost millions of dollars in fines, and that doesn't include the reputational damage. Next, security exposure. When every user has access to everything, one compromised account can expose your entire environment. The 2020 Verizon Data Breach Report found that 22% of breaches involved internal actors, and many of those could have been prevented with proper access controls that actually matched job responsibilities. And finally, competitive intelligence laws. We see this pattern repeatedly. A departing employee downloads customer lists and strategic plans from SharePoint sites they were granted access to years earlier for a specific project. The project ended, but no one ever revoked their permissions, so the access just sits there until someone exploits it. The solution isn't to slow down collaboration. That's not realistic, and it's not what your business needs. The solution is to shift from reactive permission management to proactive access architecture, and that requires 4 components working together. First, automated data classification. You cannot control what you have not classified. You need to use Microsoft Purview to automatically identify sensitive content based on patterns, credit card numbers, social security numbers, proprietary terminology that's specific to your industry. You can train classifiers to recognize your organization's sensitive information, and the classification needs to happen automatically because users will not do it manually at the speed they're working. Second, role-based access architecture. You need to stop managing individual user permissions across thousands of resources. Instead, design 15 to 25 core roles based on job functions: financial analysts, project managers, operations leaders, and then assign permissions to those roles, not to individual people. When a new hire joins finance, they inherit the financial analyst role, and they get appropriate access automatically. When they change departments, their access adjusts their role. It scales without creating administrative burden. Third, dynamic access controls. This is where you use conditional access policies to adjust permissions in real time based on risk signals. A user accessing from an unusual location? Require additional authentication. A device not compliant with your security policies? Restrict them to read-only access. User behavior patterns suggest their account has been compromised? Block access entirely until you can verify their identity. The system makes these decisions continuously, not quarterly. Fourth, external collaboration governance. The biggest risk in Microsoft 365 environments is not internal users. It's uncontrolled external sharing. You need to implement approval workflows for external collaboration. You need to whitelist approved partner domains, and you need to automatically expire external user access after defined periods. Azure B2B collaboration gives you all of these controls, but you have to configure them deliberately because the defaults favor open collaboration. Now, most organizations try to implement all of this at once, and they fail. So here's what actually works. Start with your most sensitive data. Classify it. Lock it down with role-based access. Prove the model works in that limited scope before you try to expand it to general business content. Implement conditional access incrementally. Start with multi-factor authentication for administrative roles. Next, add location-based restrictions. Then add device compliance checks. Each policy builds on the last one, and you validate that it works before moving to the next layer. And finally, measure what actually matters, the percentage of sensitive data under appropriate controls, access provisioning time from request to fulfillment, help desk tickets related to access issues, and access-related security incidents. Those metrics tell you whether your governance program is working or just creating appliance theater. Here's the pattern we see when we're brought in to rescue stalled governance programs. Organizations are still running quarterly access reviews as their primary control mechanism, and they're discovering, usually during an audit or after a security incident, that quarterly reviews cannot govern a real-time collaboration platform. After nearly 30 years implementing Microsoft systems for mid to large enterprises in regulated industries, we've built frameworks and patterns that help IT leaders shift from reactive permission management to proactive access architecture. And we do it without disrupting collaboration or overwhelming internal teams. If you're responsible for Microsoft 365 governance and you need to move from quarterly reviews to real-time controls, the full blog post breaks down each component with specific implementation steps and technology configurations. The platform changed. Your governance needs to change with it.